A woman in Japan is using a Sony portable micro-television in the back of a car in 1963. (1959) Volkswagen offered an optional coffee maker. Madame Asta Souvrina and her dog are listening to the radio. A lovely photo of a brother and sister. I love their fashions and her purse. Chicago, 1945. This is a 1935 Coca-Cola Coke truck. (1905) Geronimo drives a car. Pilot Charles Godefroy flew his plane through the Arc de Triomphe in Paris in 1919. An ape-man was discovered in the jungles of Brazil in 1937. A World War I-era German submarine washed ashore in Hastings, England in 1919. The Panjandrum. It was a rocket-propelled metal wheel armed with explosives. World War II. The control panel of the Spirit of St. Louis had several instruments. There was a compass, an airspeed indicator, and a turn and bank indicator. Also present were an altimeter, a clock, and a fuel gauge. Finally, the panel included an oil pressure gauge and a tachometer. In 1935, Evelyn Luff entices her entourage of St. Bernard dogs at Abbots Pass Kennels in England. Sunday at Coney Island, 1949. July 15th, 1921. Cleon Throckmorton at the easel on the Terrace of the Crazy Cat, a place described by the Washington Post 2 years earlier as something like a Greenwich Village coffee house. The Layat Helica, produced between 1919 and 1925. Around 1966, a musician's using his instrument to block the sun. The year is 1923 and we're looking at the construction of a Zeppelin. A Royal Navy stoker with 21 years of service, nicknamed Popeye, was photographed on board the HMS Rodney in September 1940. Alright, here we go. An unknown Victorian lady pulling a face for the camera. She's wearing a long-sleeved dress with a high collar. Her hair is pulled back and she's got a bit of a mischievous expression. The background is plain. Alright, here's what I've got. This is a quick picture, taken around 1898. Burlesque dancer. Zarita walks her pet snake Miami, 1937. Around 1954, fans at Wimbledon are making hats from newspapers to shield their heads from the sun. A sad little girl holds hands with her scratched-out sister. A United States Marine is giving water to a stray kitten. The kitten was found hiding under a knocked-out Japanese Type 95 Heigo light tank on the Tarawa Atoll. This happened on November 24, 1943. Mohandas Gandhi marches from his ashram in Sabermanti to the coastal town of Dandi. This was to revolt against a British ban on making salt out of seawater. It happened from March 12, 1930 to April 5, 1930. American silent film star Phyllis Gordon is shopping in Earl Court with her 4-year-old cheetah. The animal was brought to the UK from Kenya. Coming home from World War II in Europe, March 1945, Queens, New York. This is a marketing piece for Kodak from 1912. It's promoting the Kodak camera and film. The ad says you can take pictures easily with a Kodak. Just load the film, aim, and press the button. The piece also mentions different types of Kodak cameras like the Brownie camera. It emphasizes how simple it is to use. It encourages people to get a Kodak and make memories. The ad is designed to appeal to families and people who want to capture their lives. There was a blind Muslim man named Muhammad. He was carrying his best friend, a paralyzed Christian with dwarfism named Samer. This happened in Damascus in 1889. Harriet Beecher Stowe around 1852. A German fire engine from Germany 1907. Unicycle basketball in Harlem around the 1960s. United States cavalry soldiers pose in front of a sequoia in Yosemite known as Grizzly Giant in 1900. Tibby the cat listens to the radio in the 1920s. A little girl is leaning down, watching a boy working under a toy car. There's a dog behind the wheel. This all happened in the 1920s. Leprosy patients in China, a severe stage of the disease of the middle person, from 1890 to 1910s. Broadway, New York, 1952. Sailors arrive in New York City in 1941. Dutch cyclist Piet van Kempen circles the track at Wembley during a 6-day cycling event. London, on the 25th of September 1936. A Bavarian boy is enjoying his camera. This was in 1910. Before the invention of radar, soldiers used big old Looney Tunes-looking contraptions to listen for enemy planes. Miss Silly, who performed in the circus with tigers from 1931 to 1938. Women in the police service during World War I. The description says there's wartime devastation in Paris, France during World War I. These Halloween masks from the 1920s are scaring. Jetpacks. Robert Corter soars through the air during a test of his flying jetpack in Fort Myer, Virginia on June 10, 1969. Che Guevara's enjoying a drink. A horse is in a tree after a storm in Louisville, Kentucky, United States. It was 1937. Two members of the Bertram Mills Circus are walking head-to-head at Hammersmith Broadway in London, 1953. The Battle of Cable Street, London, 1936. A V-shaped bed, invented in 1932. It supports the body perfectly at every point, and thus promotes better rest. An 8th grade girl is topping tobacco in her patch of 1,000 hills. She's earning her own money while juggling school and farm life. This is in Granville County, North Carolina in 1939. Stone Mountain, Georgia, 1928. A former prisoner points out the most brutal guard. Germany, 1945. Marilyn Monroe visited the Children's Hospital in Atlantic City in 1952. The Blackfoot Tribe in Glacier National Park, 1913. Helen Mirren, who's 20 years old, in a production of Cleopatra at the Old Vic in London in 1965. When they realised women were using their sacks to make clothes for their children, flour mills of the 1930s started using floured fabric for their sacks. This tiny electric narrow-gauge train was installed in New York's Holland Tunnel to monitor traffic speed in 1955. "34 Albury Street, Deptford, 1911. The nursery is in the ground floor rear room. The Billiard Room on Mulberry Street, 1943, hats. A doting mother tries to shield her baby from blizzard-like conditions in Central Park during a snowy day in 1964. There's a policeman who kept his post despite the flood, Ontario, 1974. Two women basketball players are posing in their uniforms. This was in Lexington, Kentucky, in 1906. Glow-in-the-dark tyres. Goodyear revealed the illuminated tyre to the public in 1961. The ENIAC, which is the electronic numerical integrator and computer, was built in the USA and cost $400,000 in 1946. A female Viet Cong soldier fires an anti-tank missile during a fight in the southern Kyu Long Delta during the Tet Offensive. A mushroom cloud over Nagasaki, Lieutenant Charles Levy, 1945. An anti-Ku Klux Klan group called the Invisible Jungle, Knights of the Tiger's Eye, a new secret order, 1922. The first photograph of a tornado near Garnett, Kansas, April 26, 1884. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow in Arkansas, 1933. A North Korean boy stands among the ruins of his home, all that was left after American troops bulldozed a path through a civilian neighborhood in Hungnam, a port city, in December 1950. The Harvard houseboat Kiating Fu, 1908. The manliest way to shave your beard in the 1940s. Two men are on a path in France around 1930. Ellie Mae and Ms. Hathaway getting ready for a dip in the cement pond, 1962. Winston Churchill and Charlie Chaplin in Hollywood, 1929. On March 26, 1964, the decade's two most prominent civil rights leaders shared their only meeting. A couple rides on a motorized scooter called the Autoped in 1923. It could go up to 20 miles per hour. A B-26 bomber crashes in the street. A B-26 from nearby Mitchell Field burns in the street and on the lawn in East Meadow, Long Island, after crashing in front of a house in 1955. Two on board were killed. vibration therapy, a treatment for headaches in the 1890s. Tasting at the Department of Agriculture, Beltsville, Maryland, 1935. In 1952, entertainer Gene Kelly is executing a leap over film cans. The cans are labelled with the titles of his movies. April 1917. Daily inspection of teeth and fingernails. Older pupils do the inspection under the direction of the teacher, who records the results. This has been done every day this year. School number 49, Comanche County, Oklahoma, near Lawton. An iron worker balances high above the city during construction, capturing the grit of Chicago's labor force. 1969. A stretcher equipped with protective covering is used. It's designed to shield patients during hazardous conditions. 1941. Mass murderer Harry Powers, also known as the Clarksburg Butcher, is giving a detective details of his murders on September 1st, 1931. Three young women are eating spaghetti on inflatable mattresses at the island of Capri in 1939. Soldiers of the British Royal Horse Artillery are on pack horses. The animals were so obedient they let the soldiers perform tricks like these in 1915. Despite a night of German air raids that blasted his storefront, a shopkeeper opens up the morning after for business as usual in London, 1940. Foghorn Clancy, Jr., one of the youngest members of the Big Rodeo and Passing in the West, will perform for visiting Shriners in 1923. Aircraft tester George Aird barely escapes death by launching sideways from his plane in 1962. Aird fell through a nursery on his way down, breaking both legs. The wedding photo is of Pierre and Marie Curie from 1895. Happy Second Lieutenant William Robertson and Lieutenant Alexander Silvashko of the Russian Army are shown in front of a sign that reads East meets West, symbolizing the historic meeting of the Russian and American armies near Torgau, Germany in 1945. A young boy is on a rooftop of a building in Derry during the Battle of the Bogside in August 1969. He has prepared Molotov cocktails. A diamond mine worker is X-rayed at the end of each shift before leaving the mines. This was in South Africa, 1954. Alfred Langevin was a man who could smoke a pipe with his eyes. The 1930s. A flight attendant is serving snacks. The setting is the 1950s. A car was built to advertise Bic pens during the Tour de France 1953. The real Winnie the Pooh sits with Christopher Robin Milne, the inspiration behind the beloved stories, 1927.